This government is letting our young people and communities down when it comes to tackling the devastating impact of knife crime. Under the Tories, knife crime has gone up by more than 77% since 2015, and sadly it's towns like Luton where we have seen the tragic consequences. So I rise to speak today to support Labour's motion to press upon the government to strengthen its legislation and to not only ban zombie-style knives and machetes, but to also ban ninja swords and other dangerous knives that would remain legal under their plans as they stand. But if we're to reduce the needless loss of young lives, we must do more than legislate and enforce our way through. Although we need to, of course, ensure that carrying knives and knife crime has real consequences, but we also need to see real support in place to stop our young people feeling they need to carry knives and being drawn into knife crime. So I support Labour's knife crime plan, including guaranteed sanctions and serious interventions for young people found carrying knives, with tough new guidance so that there is use of serious penalties such as curfews and tagging where appropriate. But I want to focus my speech around Labour's Young Futures Early Intervention Programme, a targeted programme in every area to identify young people most at risk of knife crime. A plan which will bring together services at a local level to better coordinate delivery of preventative measures, a national network of youth hubs to deliver joined-up support for young people, a plan for youth mental health with support in every school and open access hubs in every community with action to tackle mental health waiting lists too, and a programme which will see youth workers in A&E units, custody centres and in our communities with mentors in pupil referral units to better target and support young people at risk. And this will be alongside a new serious organised crime strategy to go after the gangs, making millions from the exploitation of children and young people in our communities. In Luton, we've sadly seen too many young people and children killed by other young people and children. Lives lost and changed forever for all involved, especially their families who are left behind. And I've listened to families whose children have been killed, and it's heartbreaking. And I've listened to our Luton community who don't want to see yet another young life lost in our town, and it's heartbreaking. And it's heartbreaking because so much loss could have been prevented. It could have been prevented except for the political decisions of this Conservative government, which has destroyed youth services, which carry out vital preventative work. This government which has diminished neighbourhood policing for its visible presence and intelligence to help our communities feel safe. And this government which has failed to deal with the criminal gangs that exploit and draw our young people into knife crime. Yet despite this sorry picture of 14 years of Conservative government stripping back our public services and making huge cuts to councils all in the name of austerity, we do have some hope through excellent partnership working at a local level, such as the Luton Youth Partnership and the multi-agency support hub work, which is a systemic approach developed over a number of years, led by Dave Collins at Luton Council. And I pay tribute to the work that he and so many others involved in this collaboration approach carry out. And it is a collaborative approach that is at the heart of Labour's Young Futures programme, with a cross-government initiative to oversee it, bringing together all relevant departments to set objectives, oversee delivery and assess outcomes. And importantly, Labour will work with local councils to establish new Youth Futures partnerships to build on existing successes, such as in Luton, to coordinate and better integrate existing services for teenagers and young people in their areas, involving council youth services, including youth offending services, social services and community safety officers, with the police, with mental health services, schools and voluntary and community organisations to map the provision of services, establish data and systems to identify children and young people at risk of exploitation and crime, and establish appropriate referral and intervention. And so I'd like to emphasise at this point the importance of the excellent work our voluntary and community organisations in Luton do. Many have had to pick up the pieces after Conservative cuts to our local council and health services. But working together to support our young people and community, be it from our local youth groups such as with the Scouts and Guides, mentorship by groups such as Unleashing Potential, as well as grassroots community activists such as the excellent Wingman Mentors, who I recently met with my honourable friend, the member for Luton North. And they told us about their campaign, similarly, to get more bleed kits in community locations, recognising that if we're not able to fully prevent stabbings, we can try to ensure that lives might be saved by the early use of bleed kits by local people on the scene before paramedics arrive. So to close, we know that knife crime destroys lives, devastates families, and creates fear and trauma in our communities. Our young people deserve better, and I say that a Labour government will give young people their future back, but we need that general election to do so.